thinking it's July, not June. Man, the months are flying. Not. Y'all, if y'all see this, I'm trying to freaking do the cheap, easy way to lay this freaking lace front. Relax. Um, I'm probably still gonna have to do some more work to it. Never actually works out when you try to cut corners and things like that. But today, I want to talk about love. You know, love is patient, love is kind, love is not boastful. You know, and as I'm getting older and as I'm learning some things, truly understanding what love is, and the power of loving yourself. Because when you love yourself, certain things you will not tolerate. Certain things you just won't tolerate. And okay, some things you just, like I said, you won't just tolerate. You won't have a part in it. You know, you won't let it take you out. And for me, um, when I started to actually love myself, I started to see how some of the things were happening to me because I had holes in how I felt about not only my self-esteem, but how I treated people. I always thought like, well, maybe if, because it tells you to treat people kind and treat people, treat people kind and treat people with respect and with dignity and things like that, that they're gonna do that to you, and it's gonna get better. But what do you do when they don't? And I'm not saying to yell or to attack them or do anything violent, but I understand that when you really love yourself, when you really truly love yourself, and somebody's being manipulative to you, they're being disrespectful to you, whether it's a person, a group of people, a job, you have to learn how to walk away. To walk away. I know y'all probably like, well, you did that, you was in a relationship, you walked away with the clothes on your back, and yes, but you don't think of it in other aspects. What about a job that you know for sure you got what it takes to go do things, and they're overlooking you, or they're bypassing you, or they're seeing, or they're trying to hype you up and say, oh, you're doing perfect, you're doing great, we should give you a raise, but they don't give you a raise when they have it to give. It's different if they don't have it to give, or they, you apply for the promotion, they know that you should be getting that promotion, or you should be, working and doing something, or, and not to say that they're holding off for something better, they haven't given it to you. They just haven't given it to you, okay? And you stay stuck, okay? And I know a lot of people want to have this hero syndrome and try to believe, like, well, there's people who waited 10 to 20 years to get certain jobs. Sometimes it takes work. Yeah, sometimes it takes work, but usually in those fields, it's rarely when it's available. I'm talking about when it's available, when it's needed and it's available. And trust and believe. If you have a skill or a skill set and it's needed and it's available, then that's the reason why you're there, or that's the reason why you should move. Don't hold yourself back. When I found that out and I understood that, I was able to love myself enough to get up and to move the hell on. Okay? Don't care who is rooting for you, who is against you, who's talking about, oh, you'll be back, that kind of crazy nonsense. Get up. Get up and leave. Okay? And I'll tell you something. I'll tell you only two things are going to happen. When you have that determination, because you know you have nowhere else to turn to, and you're going to succeed, okay? You're going to succeed. So either you're going to go out there, you're going to see that you did need some things to work on, and you might find out that what they were trying to give you or something might be too heavy for you. You might need some more time to work on it, which you will, okay? Doesn't mean that this is a good or a bad thing. I think it's a good venture once you leave from a situation like that, because you start seeing what it is you are directed to, what you want, and you start seeing very clearly what it takes to get there, and that way you can plan an action. You can create a plan, or here's the or of this one, or you end up leaving and you end up being right. See, some people are fearful of being right because they wasted 5, 10, 15, 20 years at a job that they know wasn't serving them, they know was disrespecting them, and they said, okay, I want to do the responsible thing, which is sometimes it usually is holding that job down, getting my assets, getting what I need. But what do you lose in the process of that? You know, you lose. In every situation, you lose something. Hey, it's not always a win-win, even though we want to think of it as that. What are you losing in the process? You're losing time. Sometimes you can lose your self-esteem because they're constantly overlooking you. They're placing people who don't have credentials over you, which for the most part is illegal, unless it's some kind of private-owned company, which that happens a lot. You lose time away from your family, time away from the main reason why you out here grinding, you know. And now you got this little bit of compensation, which is a check. Some people have a larger compensation than others, and you use that as validation to to say, at least I got this. I put in all this work. At least I got this. So, but yeah, when you let go, you start finding out that you was right. For the most part, you find out. Not only was you right, you was right. And this is when things get real, because now they try to intimidate you more. They'll come out and try to intimidate you more. Before, I had one job who tried to terminate me because I went down to part-time. I'm known for that. If I think, I put in an investment and I don't get no respond back, just like how they do, I do the same way. Y'all need to be the same doggone way with a job, because that's your life at stake. That's your livelihood. If they don't think that you're good enough and you've been working to put at it, I'm not saying somebody who just coming there being lazy, not doing a job, but you've been putting in the work. You've been doing exactly what they've been telling you, and they still trying to act crazy and still try to say but and add something dumb onto it. Say, okay, sir, and walk your ass clear on away. Listen, go down. Come on. You're not about to keep going in these circles. Go down. My dog crazy. Go down to part-time. Go down. Drop your thing down to as needed. Drop it down to PRN. Drop it down to as needed. And see. Now you might see something that might shock you, because sometimes companies do this too. Narcissistic people do this too. They'll go and find somebody who can not only fulfill the job, they'll find somebody who can not only fulfill the job, but they're going to give them the title that you was asking for, or even more, with the same or even less qualifications as you. With either the same or the less qualifications as you. And that might hurt. But understand, it's just a ploy. It's just a ploy to get you upset. It is just a ploy to get you to feel like you need to prove yourself. I'm telling y'all, it's a manipulation tactic at its best. Don't worry about it. When you pull away, because eventually they're going to end up seeing the same thing, the same thing that you saw. They're going to see the same thing that you saw. Don't feel bad about that. Get yourself up. and you walk away. You get up and walk away. Don't have no parts in it, you know. And I will tell you this: if you do see that, the only way that I would say stay in it is something like that. Which this is your own journey about love. But I know for me, if I see somebody, I've seen jobs that have done that to me, and then I get up and I'll work, as needed, and they'll try to call me and try to get me to get more information on helping a new person. Not doing that. That was the case. I was right there at the beginning. You could have gave it to me, but instead, you wanted to be evil, vindictive, and conniving. Evil, vindictive, and conniving, and you know, try to bring someone else into the situation to cause more attention. Oh, you got more people, they can go into a whole in a frenzy. Well, once you start getting skill, especially if you keep working on your skill set, you keep building your portfolio. That's the less drama you don't even have to deal with because they know, they know you serious. That's what comes with love. That's what comes with love. You're willing to invest, and so, um, yeah, don't be afraid to walk away. In those situations, I usually don't even go PRN or as needed. I get up and I leave. I get up and I leave. Okay? Because you don't need to be around. You don't need to be around um, people who do that. You need to be around an organization who's gonna do that to you. And that's what I learned about love in a business standpoint. I also learned about how people respond to me. Um, you cannot you don't have to agree with me, but you still can be respectful. You know, and love. When you love yourself, you can't tolerate people doing doing things and being over manipulative. You're able to stand for yourself because you know it's something better. You just know when you love yourself, it's something out of this world. That's all I can say. Yeah, it's something out of this world. Like you just you can't pretend it. You can't pretend when people disrespect you. You even disrespecting yourself by going into environments. You start thinking like, you know what, this wasn't a good place. One of the things that I also learned when I started loving myself, and this was years like, okay, so now you get this money, and they told you when when you start going into your field and when you start learning more about yourself, they tell you, oh, go out and be not adventurous, but you network. You do things like that. I have learned that I don't spend my money where people don't respect me. I don't spend my money where people don't respect me. If they don't want to, I had one waiter who, I was in a business meeting, and everybody that looks different than me, okay? Um, and some of them are my friends. When I say my friends, actual friends, it was a group of us, about six, and I remember this because it's I'm gonna tell y'all the dynamics, okay? Two Asians, one black person, which is me, and the rest of these people are white, okay? I'm saying this so y'all can understand what's going on at this table. So we're in this Mexican restaurant, which is one of my favorite restaurants, which I recommend it, y'all. Feel like a slap in my face. That's why I said what love is. Okay. Usually surface is good. The food is excellent. The drinks are excellent. Alcoholic and non-alcoholic. Great. Okay. And so we're sitting over here. We're talking about they're talking about this deal that they have because a lot of those are realtors, investors, things like that. And I'm just getting into that field. And so they began to ask me, okay, Bill, you know, what are your goals? I know this is what your goals for this, but financially, How do you think you're gonna make these goals to make this, to get this structure and blah blah this? And I'm going on and I'm going about it, and I noticed that my waiters are all kinds to the other ones, to the other people, to the other ones, the other people that are in my group, including my people that I consider friends, and they're asking them, how was the service? Did they need refills, things like that? And I'm saying, oh, I need a refill, blah blah this, and how their things are taking no time at all, and mine's just taking forever. And I was like, I had to bring it up, like, okay, do you guys, am I tripping, or am I seeing this? Am I seeing it for what it is? And this is what shows you from a true friend versus a go with the flow kind of person, because my friends wasn't having it. And even the people that I was working with, I'm not on a friendship level. I'm on a business, friendship level, but we're not actual friends. I'm telling you, they got into the thing, they got into that business, got into the habit, like, hey, why didn't you get this? And they started noticing. Even when I had let everything go, they're like, no, wait a minute, and needless to say, we don't do our business projections there. We did have the manager come out and speak. I didn't ask for that, but one of the business partners did, and they started talking, and he started telling them, and he even noticed that directing, it was almost as if they treated me as if I was a kid, like I couldn't speak, for myself. Oh, well, and they would appease them and try to go to them, and he was just like, no, that is not acceptable. So, long story short, we ended up getting stuff free. But anywho, I learned something that day. For one, I felt embarrassed because, for one, I was the person that wanted to go to this restaurant, gave this restaurant, high ratings, saying this and that. It was a great place. And then turn around, and I'm the one that got sucky service, Now, usually I would have said, oh, no, I'm going to chuck it up to the game. It probably was just one person, they don't mix to the whole bunch. But then I had to think about it. I'm like, wait a minute. It was more than one person that hired this person, and it was more than one person that hired the other person. There's 3 people involved, and all of them handled it incorrectly. That might be a culture thing. That might just be a culture thing, And so I said, from now on, I don't go and visit that restaurant. It was very hard for me because that restaurant is very close to my house. It is a great place. It has, like the clear windows. It has a great place to do a lot of business meetings, and a lot of people do business meetings there. If you wanted to hang out with people, that is a great place to do it. And so that's why I really liked it. And like I said, the food was good. The food actually had texture, taste. It was all that. But I understood that if I love myself, I'm not going to put myself in harm's way anymore. I'm not going to do all that craziness. That's not love. That's not love. And yeah, it's not love. Me going back would probably be just ego. Well, I can overcome and I can go do that. Why do you want to overcome ignorance? Love is kind. Love is kind. They didn't show love to you. Get up and show love to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Take care of yourself. Now, y'all, I love Mexican food because it's very close to Haitian food. A lot of that stuff, because it's the spices, especially like tamales, some of the rices, stuff like that. So that's about the closest you're gonna get about the closest you're gonna get out here to that. So it took me more time. It took me more time to prep, more time to do other things. It did. It did. And I got better, but I didn't go back. That's what love really is, Love is saying it's okay for you to have your opinions and have your views, but what you can't do is take me with you. What you can't do is take love away from me. You can't do that. I'm deserving of it, just like you. And so that's when I started learning about love. And people who don't love themselves or have a disdain for themselves will hurt you. They will hurt you. Now, nobody's perfect. They're going to do certain things, but people who don't do that, they will hurt you. They will hurt you, and it's up to you to not get yourself hurt, to not get yourself in those situations. So, yeah, with that, I'm going to get off here. Hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned to Any Situation. Bye.